Hey, it's Bob Harris here, and today we're going to be learning how to pinch notes on the right hand. Pinching means we're plucking two strings at once. We're learning a song here, the Hillbilly Serenade intermediate version, and by pinching the notes we're able to add melody notes along with chords. So if you're ready for this lesson, let's do it now. I want to show you the pinch first. It's really easy. Basically, a pinch means that you're plucking two strings at the same time. Right now I'm plucking string 2 with my index finger and string 5 with my thumb, both at the same time, and making sort of a pinching looking move there, just going like this. The reason why you would do a pinch is because it will add a melody note with usually the index finger or the middle finger. You can pinch with the middle finger too, or your index finger, or all three at the same time, or even 4. And what it does is it either adds a fuller chord or a melody note to a song, or melody notes or melody chords. So let's take a look at measures 1 through 8. We have pinches, let me get that up here. We have pinching on measures 2, at the top of each measure, 2, 4, 6, and 8. And if you can play measures 1 through 2, that means you could play measures 1 through 8, because that's all the same thing. Let me play for you really slow measures 1 through 2. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and pinch, 2, 3, and then measure 3 and 4 is just like 1 and 2, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. So what you want to do is set your metronome on slow and just go back and forth between measures 1 through 8 and just keep doing it until it becomes second nature. And then what you want to do is slowly raise the metronome up after each session and try to play it a little faster to gain some speed. But you want to stay slow to keep it in get your hands to learn how this song goes instead of relying just on your brain. You want it to become second nature. So obviously the more reps you do with it, the easier it's going to be to not have to remember it, as I call it. If you've missed the beginner and the beginner plus version of this song, you can go right here, start right from the beginning. Measure 9, which is the top of the A section, we're forming a D major 7th chord. And the very first beat we're doing a pinch. We're pinching on strings 1 and 4, thumb and middle finger, and we're doing it like so. That's our very first beat. I guess you could use your index finger on that, but we're going to need that for the second string, following very closely, almost immediately. So I'm plucking this thumb and middle finger for the first beat. Measure 9 sounds like this. Measure 10 is another pinch to start out with. All of these measures in the A section, they all start out with pinches on the very first beat. Measure 10 is open though, and it sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. All open on the left hand, and we just have to choose the right strings. So thumb, middle, thumb, thumb, index, thumb. Measure 11 is just like measure 9. Measure 12. On the 3 and beat, we're adding another melody note, and I'm playing it 3 frets up, and I'm playing it with my middle finger, but you could use any finger that you want there. We just have to get to this chord for measure 13. So whatever, it could be this, could be a good move, that works. I'm doing this one, I don't know why, it just seemed easy. This or this works really well. Actually, the ring finger would be probably good. I got used to doing it this way. But it sounds like this. And then measure 13. 14, there's a little zinger coming up on 14. Okay, so measure 10 and 14 are different. Take a look at it. We're adding a note in there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the 2 and, there's an extra note in there. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. 15. So 15 now, what we're doing is we're getting that melody note. It goes on the second string. We're still forming the D major chord, but our index finger is now plucking the second string, and we're pinching that with the thumb there. So thumb and index. Thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb. So it's thumb, index, thumb, middle, thumb. All while forming the D major 7th chord. So, and then measure 16, we're still keeping that chord down. It's really important to understand the timing of when these notes come in. And those bar lines down at the bottom, I've explained that already in previous lessons, but anytime you see those little half bars, that means that we're going to be playing an and note in there. So 15 through 16 sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4. So what you want to do is you just want to go ahead and take little sections, like maybe play measures 9 through 10, and then try 9 through 11. Measures 17 through 24 is identical to measures 9 through 16. So now let's work on measures 25 through 28. And let me play it for you really slow. This is 25. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and pinch. 2 and 3 and 4. 27. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Pinch. 2 and 3 and 4. Measures 25 through 28, you'll notice that we're never playing the 4th string. And if you just play the bass notes, you're hopping over from string 6 to 3 and then 5 to 3. So the whole thing would be 6, 3, 6, 3 strings. 5, 3, 5, 3, 6, 3, 6, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3. So what I have to do to make it through that passage is I have to visualize that I don't have a D string and I'm hopping over that, hopping over that D string every time. And that's kind of a visualization technique that I have to use to get through that passage. On measure 28, we have some fingering choices, and it really doesn't matter to me which one you do, but let me just show you the choices here. We could start out the pinch with our middle finger, which is what I do, and then on the 2 and, you could see that the note changes to the 3rd fret, and I'm just sliding it up. By doing that, though, it forces me to have to play that D chord this way, the 2-finger D chord this way with these fingers. And maybe you're going to be more comfortable doing it with these fingers. If that's the case, you're going to want to go start the top of that measure, the very first pinch, with your ring finger and then slide it up. Now another choice, actually there's a lot of choices. You can go index finger here, and then you can go middle finger and form that chord for 29. Or you can go this way, middle finger to your ring finger and then form the regular D chord, which is fine. I like to slide it up. So whatever your choice is when you're landing on that chord, if you're good with this chord or this chord, It really doesn't matter. It's whatever you're comfortable with. Measure 29 through 32 is the last little segment that we need in order to play this whole song. What we're doing on all the measures is we're plucking, and I wouldn't say this is a pinch. All we're doing is simultaneously plucking two strings at once. So we have the index finger on string 2 and our middle finger on string 1, and we're just plucking both of them together, okay, forming like a two-note chord. So let me play you the whole section here, and then I'll break it down a little bit better if you're still having trouble with it. So I'll count it out. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Measure 31. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's take out the droning bass note throughout 29 through 32, and let's just work on those upper chords here. Obviously the first chord is the D chord right here, however you want to play it. The second chord right here is 5 frets up with our index finger on the first string and 7 frets up with our ring finger on the second string, like so. It's a D chord. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get used to going back and forth like this. So to play that passage right there and leaving the bass note out, let me count it out for you. It would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Measure 30, we're going to a G chord here, and I'm playing it 7 frets up with my middle finger on the first string and 8 frets up with my ring finger on the second string, like this. That's actually a G chord. If I put my finger down here, I have a G chord right here. We're taking it off, we're just plucking, we don't need that note right here, we're just plucking 2 strings, 7 frets up and then 8 frets up. And then we're coming back down to this other D chord that we just learned. So measure 30 is this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now let's do 29 through 30 together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Measure 31, we have this chord right here. It's the same chord form. If you've got this one down, all you're doing is sliding it down 2 frets. Index finger first string 3 frets up, and ring finger 5 frets up on the second string. So it's the same form as this chord, you're just sliding it down. And then we're going back to a regular D chord. So let's play 29 through 31. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you see right there, there's a little bit of a thing that says on the 3rd fret, 2nd string, we're sliding up to the 5th fret there. And then 32, we're grabbing this A chord right here, a 2-fingered A chord. Okay, and you could either do it like this or you can do it like this, however it's comfortable for you. But I am sliding that note up. That's the way that I'm playing it. You don't have to do that. You can just go if you want. So what I would recommend is just practice those chords. Practice this passage without the bass note at first. Practice that over and over again until you have that down. And now what we'll do, if you're ready for it, let's sandwich in the bass note, the droning bass notes. And the only thing that changes is on measure 32, instead of plucking a D note on the 4th string, we're plucking an A note. And we're plucking 3 strings together. We're plucking thumb, our index finger on the 2nd string, and our middle finger on the 1st string. That's I guess that's called a three note pinch. So let's go ahead and try it with the bass notes. Interesting to keep in mind is on beats 1 and 3 is the chord, and beats 2 and 4 is the bass note. So it starts out, you would think it would be the opposite, but no, we have it backwards here. So it's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you're back to the half intro. You can either keep going with the song, go back to the top of the A section again, or you can just stop and strum a chord there, or strum this chord. I like this chord.